Hey everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. I'm so glad you guys can come in the kitchen with me today and spend a little time with me. Before we get started though, you guys know what the routine is. Go ahead, right down there at the bottom of your screen, go ahead and take care of that thumbs up button. Take care of that share button. As you're watching my video, make sure you share it with all your family and friends. And if you have not became one of Granna's followers, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become one of my followers. I would love to have you as a follower, and also I would love to just hear back from you guys at the end of each one of our conversations, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I only brought you guys one video last week because it was just so much going on throughout the week. You know, the week kicked off with the murder of George Floyd. Well, the weekend before Memorial Day weekend, that Monday, Mr. George Floyd was murdered. And all last week, it was a lot of protesting going on, a lot of marching going on, and then they had Blackout Tuesday of last week. So I definitely wanted to show my respect by following along with the blackout and not putting anything else out last week, okay? I know that they've already had his funeral in Minneapolis, and I believe over the weekend, they moved him to North Carolina, and from there, they're gonna be having a funeral for him in Houston, Texas this week, okay? I was sitting back watching the videos and the news and everything on all the protests that was going on, and just watching those, and a lot of the protests was non-violent, and they was just voicing, having their voice being heard, and you know, following the guidelines when it came to what was laid out with them, you know, with the protests. But then there were some incidents where the protests got out of hand, and there was some violence taking place, and there was some looting, destroying of property, and all that. I definitely believe in the protesting. I definitely believe in the message that we are trying to get across to the rest of the world, that Black lives matter. And yes, they say all lives matter, which is true, but all lives are not being taken away as like the Black lives are being taken away. So that's why we are speaking up on Black Lives Matter. But as I was watching these riots and everything, I was looking at these thousands and thousands and thousands of people participating in these protests, and I was just sitting there wondering, like, wow, what a difference this would make if we could get these amount of people to come out and vote. If we can just get the people that showed up to try to bring justice to George Floyd's life and his death, just to the voting poll, get these people out to vote, then we could make such a bigger impact. You know, a lot of people, I think, you know, when it comes to voting, they say it doesn't matter, it doesn't make a difference, it doesn't help. But that part, I beg to differ, because I do believe that voting, using your right to vote, because the same thing that they're marching for with George Floyd, justice to be done by him, those are the same things that we lost a lot of lives that was marching and protesting back in the 50s and 60s. And, you know, they was protesting for human rights and the rights of African Americans to have the same privileges and rights that everyone else in the United States had. And they was also very vocal about getting us the right to vote and marching about our voting rights. So if we could get that same crowd that came out in the last week or so to the poll and put their vote in, I definitely believe it will make a difference, and it will show that we matter, not only when it comes to our life and the justice system, with the way with police brutality and all the other injustice that's going on in this world. We matter also, and we can make a difference also when it comes to voting. So I just hope and pray that you know, all the supporters of the protests and all the people that gave their time and went out there and showed their support for the Floyd, George Floyd murder will come to the polls come November and voice their opinion at that time. When we come together as one, we can make such a big difference. And I'm really hoping come November that we show up and we show out at the voting poll, and we let our voice be heard, and we can make a difference there with that too. And then also, as I was watching the riots going on, well, not riots, but the protests and all that, there were some riots that broke out. And of course, when it was breaking out, the media wanted to immediately show what the African American was doing, how the African American was being disrupted and tearing up property and stuff like that. But then, if you was watching the news last week, there were several times that African American interjected when there was some white people destroying property who tried to portray it like they was with that group that was out there protesting. They try to act like they was a part of the Black Lives Matter group, and they was vandalizing property. And when I know one incident, this young lady approached these two white ladies. They was dressed in all black and had black hats, black clothes, everything. But their hands, they didn't have on any gloves, so of course you could see their hands and you could see their hair hanging from under their hats. They was vandalizing this coffee shop, I believe it was, and they was writing on there BLM, Black Lives Matter. They was just writing all over the building, and this young lady went up to them and told them to stop, and told them, you're not a part of this. We are here peacefully. We're not vandalizing anybody's property. So I would not stand here and allow you to vandalize this property and to make it look like it's something that's affiliated with us, because it's not. We don't agree with it. We are not here to vandalize or destroy anyone's property. That's not what we're here for. So, you know, I've seen several incidents where African Americans stepped in to try to stop the vandalism when they was doing their protests. And then, of course, I'm not covering anything up or trying to throw out any race or whatever, because also there were some African American destroying property also. And you know, when people get angry, they definitely act out. But the reason I was bringing it up about the white people that they called out on vandalizing, because they was only focusing on African American destroying property and not being out there peacefully, and was out there just to take advantage of it and looting and breaking in these stores and taking these people property and stuff. But that's not the case. If you look at the whole picture and look at all the videos that'll be showing, there was all races doing the wrong thing. You know, there was a lot of races that just was not doing the right thing. So I just hope that, you know, with all this going on, the day of George Floyd's funeral, I don't know why I want to keep saying George Michael, but the day of George Floyd's funeral, they arrested the other policeman that was holding the back part of his legs, as the one had his knee on his neck. So they did arrest those other four policemen. That's a good thing. I hope they're all held accountable and get the justification that they should get. They should be all prosecuted, and they all should serve some type of jail time. So I hope that that all plays out that way. You know, I hope that they're just not arresting these policemen to try to set up a cover up something. Well, we did arrest them. No, you got to go more than that. They need to go through the whole system. They need to go through the whole thing. So, you know, it's just crazy with everything that's been going on. But you know, I think that the United States has gotten an eye open. They heard the protesters loud and clear that they're tired, that we are tired, we're not taking it anymore. And not only was they protesting here in the United States, they was protesting overseas. They were protesting over in England. You know, they was protesting worldwide. This murder of George Floyd opened the eyes of the whole world. And not that it should have took that to open the eyes, because this has been going on for so long. I mean, just 2 weeks prior, 2.5, 3 weeks prior to that, Ahmaud Arbery lost his life, and the father and son, and the neighbor that ran him down. And even after they shot him, they said on the news the other day that the son was standing over him, calling him the F-N word. You know, still calling him racial slurs after they had shot him. And you know, and then like I said, the thing that went on with Breonna Taylor, the thing that went on with Trayvon Martin, it's just so much that has gone on up until a couple of weeks ago that the eyes of the United States should already have been open. And I'm not saying all cops are bad cops, definitely not saying that, because I know that there are some good cops out there, policemen that wants to do the right thing. But you know, you get a couple of bad ones that can influence a couple more and have them thinking the way that they thinking, and this is the results that you get. This is the results that you get from that. So I just hope and pray that come November, everybody that was out there protesting and voicing, putting their voices out there, will show up at the poll and let their vote count, and continually to make the difference that I know as Americans we can make. But you gotta show up and vote. You cannot talk about it, just as we cannot continue to talk about police brutality and the way we are treated as Americans. We cannot continue to talk about it. We have to take action. And that's the same thing we're gonna have to do come November, okay? So just a little something to put out there for you guys. You know, I hope other than all this other stuff that's been going on in the world, that you guys have had a good week. You know, we still need to keep in the back of our mind, the coronavirus is still out there. It's still affecting people. People are still coming down with this coronavirus. So if you are out protesting, or you are out showing your support in any way, you know, make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you're trying to keep that social distance as much as possible. And, you know, and just be safe, guys. Just be safe out there. As you know, I'm not against anyone protesting or showing their support, but just be safe while you're out there doing it, okay? All right, so I'm gonna let you guys get up out of here. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to go back and give me any comment that you may have. I'm always open for any comments, but I'm not here for a debate about anything. This is my opinion, and everyone has their own opinion. So you can definitely let me know what your opinion is or what you think about it, but I'm not gonna debate about it, okay? So as you go by your day, practice your safe distance, wear your mask, be kind to everybody you come in contact with, and just have a great day, guys. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time around, okay? All right, bye.